Overthinking can turn your life into a mental marathon. You replay the conversations, rewrite messages, and run every decision through 20 different futures until you're drained. I know because I have been there too, and it's exhausting. So in this video, I will show you the real triggers behind those loops and what actually gets you out of your head so you can enjoy your life again. I will start with the brutal truth. You will keep overthinking as long as you are living a life that isn't truly yours. Like saying yes to plans you dread or staying in relationships that drain you. And it's not because you are weak. If overthinking were just a mindset shift, like think positive, you would have fixed already. The reason it's hard to get out of it is because your mind is trying to protect you from the truth you didn't feel safe to act on. So overthinking isn't a thinking problem, it's an avoidance strategy. But before we go deeper here, what does living your truth actually mean? It means you are around people you don't have to edit yourself. You choose the job, lifestyle, environment that actually matches you. Your life is aligned with your values. But more than anything, you can really feel it. Your body relaxes instead of bracing all the time because you have to perform. Sometimes you're close, but if you still can't say this is 100% me without overthinking, it's because a part of you doesn't feel safe being seen. For an authentic life that is truly yours, you need two things. Clarity, what do you want when nobody's watching? And courage, choosing it even when it disappoints people. So clarity is the truth, courage is the cost. Let me show you what this means on an example of my life and why it is so hard. On paper, I was living the German dream. A nice apartment in Berlin, living with my long-term relationship, had my master degree, high-level jobs in university and professional sports clubs. So from the outside, everything looked right, but inside, there was a constant conflict. My mind never stopped. I couldn't enjoy any of it, and I felt like I was living a life that didn't really belong to me. At some point, I got clear. My truth was completely different life. This year, living on an island in Asia. The problem is it didn't make sense from that perspective on paper. There was no real plan, just a quiet inner yes. And it took time to follow that. A lot of overthinking, sleepless nights, and tight feeling my body because what I felt and what I thought I should do didn't match. And this is where the deeper layers start. You are not actually looking for clarity, you are looking for security. This happens on a nervous system level. If being fully yourself ever risks losing approval, love, or belonging, your body learns something very simple. Honesty means danger, fitting in, safety. So instead of acting, your mind starts overthinking, trying to find the safest option. And this is the first form of what I call noise paralysis, which happens when you hear so many rules, opinions, expectations, that you stop trusting your own signals because they're quiet. And this is very normal because you grow up surrounded by a lot of input. Parents, school, society, social media, all of this tells you what a good life should look like. And at some point, you don't just use it as guidance anymore, you treat it as the ultimate truth. This is where the conflict starts, your inner truth versus all the expectations, or your body versus the conditioning. And your mind tries to solve this conflict by thinking more. But thinking doesn't solve it, it just keeps you stuck in the loop. Okay, even if you understand that, most people still get stuck because there's another layer. And this is the part most people don't connect to the overthinking. When the outside world gets quiet, your body can still be so loud. Not with thoughts, but with attachment, fear, grief. And no one is telling you what to do anymore, but your attachment being safe, being liked, or not losing something still drives your decisions. And you feel it physically. Tight chest, heavy stomach, some inner pressure. And that's not random. This is your body alarm. In my case, I wanted to break up with my ex. But the relationship was my safe place. I had a clear picture, future, family, stability. This is how life should go. So every time the thought came up, I felt overwhelmed. And instead of acting, started thinking more. But I wasn't actually looking for clarity. I was trying to avoid that I was feeling grief, uncertainty, letting go. And some point, it wasn't even about the relationship anymore. It was my mind trying to negotiate with an emotion. This is the second form of noise paralysis. Not external pressure, but internal overwhelm. Your emotions and your attachment become so strong that they pull you away from your truth. And when you're emotionally flooded like that, you can't see clearly. If I had seen it clearly, it would have been simple. A relationship isn't only successful if it lasts forever. Sometimes it's meaningful because of what you shared, what you learned, and then it's complete. Sometimes something can be good and still not aligned. Let me add one more thing, which is very important. Your emotions matter so much, but they are not always instructions. Feel them fully, but don't let them decide for you. Because the feelings are like weather, they change. Values are your compass, they give you direction. So, how do you actually overcome this noise paralysis and stop overthinking? Not by thinking more, but by getting quiet. Because both forms of the noise, external and internal, lose their power when you create space. Start simple. Give yourself a few minutes without distraction. No phone, no input, just sit. Then observe what's happening without judging or reacting to it. Notice the thoughts, but don't follow them. Instead, look underneath. What am I actually feeling? Fear, attachment, uncertainty. Then bring clarity into it. Take one loop and turn it into a simple question. What am I afraid would happen if I'm honest right now? This is where things shift because now you're not just stuck in your head anymore. You are actually processing what's there. And at the same time, you're training your nervous system. You're teaching your body. It's safe to feel this. It's safe to be honest. That's why I use meditation for myself, for my clients. Nothing complex. Just sitting, observing, feeling for a few minutes or maybe even an hour. And it builds that ability to pause instead of escaping into overthinking. It's not a magic trick, but it's where real change starts. Because in that quiet space, your inner voice comes back. And it's usually not loud or complicated. It's very simple. This feels right, this doesn't. Go, stop. And from there, you can act from your truth instead of staying stuck in your head. This starting point doesn't mean you have to do this alone fully. Have people around you who can support you, but without projecting their fears onto you. If this helped you to understand yourself better, subscribe to the channel. This is for people who want to stop overthinking and start trusting themselves again.